feel like moving through this slowly is important because these principles that I'm talking to you about, grandchildren, brothers and sisters in Kenya, and those who this helps, God bless you. Please like and share these videos if they are helpful to you. I greatly appreciate it. On whatever platform you're seeing this on. And $ Mr. Paul Dozier, $ Mr. Paul Dozier. I'm moving through this slowly, Numbers 18, but we're about to transition and start going a lot faster. But through this, I'm moving slowly because there's some great principles in here. We run to success books. We run to people and we'll pay them a lot of money to learn what these people have learned in this book right here called the Bible. These principles are they're never ending. They're the basics. In Numbers 18, when we talked about this in the previous video, the responsibility of the called. In Numbers 18, when the Lord said unto Aaron, thou and thy sons and thy father's house with thee, I talked to you about legacy, about the elders, ancestors, and the current people. This is what this is talking about. In today's culture, we honor the ancestors. We honor the elders. The elders are today. The elders are us. But then we also honor our children by teaching this to our children. So this is Summer and Kenny and Kendall and Roselle and Josh and Isaiah. These are, in my life, these are the young people in their 30s and such. The Lord said unto Aaron, the elders, thou and thy sons, the ones coming after us, and thy father's house, which are the ones who came before us, with thee shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary. So now in verse 2 and 3, he's demonstrating what that looks like. Folks, listen, we want to try to overcomplicate these things, and they're not supposed to be overcomplicated. They're supposed to be simple. And the reason why I say they're supposed to be simple is because these things are not something that is hard to understand. But I'll tell you something, though. It is something hard to explain to people. Because we want to hear it from... I get people to tell me, who are you? This is now listen, it doesn't hurt my feelings, it's just the nature of who we are. In this generation. So I'm hoping that my kids and my brothers and sisters in Kenya get this. And by the way, my brothers and sisters in Kenya are my kids' generation. So I'm not even talking to my generation because we're stiff-necked people. We're never going to make it into the promised land. We're too smart. At least most of us. We're just way too smart. We got it all figured out. In my generation, and I'm talking about the people in their 50s and 60s and 70s in some cases. In my generation, we think that the main relationships are the same, the people who are like us. So we go to these meetings with people who are just like us. They're all pastors, they're all bankers, they're all this, they're all insurance people, and we all hang out together. All the bankers and the insurance people. We don't cross-pollinate. We get together and we brag about the size of our businesses and ministries. Or we just get together and gossip. Or we support each other. We speak at each other's conferences and, well, I don't, because I'm an outsider. I'm not recognized. But my grandchildren and my brothers and sisters in Kenya, don't you do the same thing. The model is right here in Numbers 18. I want to read it. And the Lord said unto Aaron, current generation, and thy sons, next generation, and the father's house, previous generation, with these shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary. Sanctuary is where everyone goes to meet. And thou and thy sons with thee shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. It didn't say the elders. It didn't say the previous generation. It says thou, he's talking to Aaron, thou and thy sons, those you teach, shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary. You know what that means? The iniquity, the cost that you pay, the responsibility of the sanctuary, not of the people, of the place where the people meet, and the materials being taught there. Verse 2, and thy brethren, the Levites, those, your support staff, also of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of thy father, thou with thee, that they may be joined unto thee and minister unto thee. Support you in what you're doing. Now, again, this isn't always all those who you came up with, because the people you come up with may not support you. I know. They may lose sight of who you are, who God has called you to be. That's why they're also the adopted ones. And that's not why. That's not the only reason why. But there is a number of people. You need the majority of people to roll with you, to believe in you. And this is part of your duty. Is to get that group of people that you, because you can't do anything in and of yourself. If you're leading hundreds, thousands, millions of people, you can't do it alone. You need to be standing on your father's legacies. You need to have people that roll with you, and you need to be bringing people up. Children. Join with you and minister unto thee. In other words, you make a step and they say, we're with you. But thou and thy sons with thee before the tabernacle of witness, and they shall keep, in verse 3, and they shall keep that charge. In other words, they shall follow you. I took that note, right? Yeah, well, end it there. And they shall keep that charge in the charge of all the tabernacle. Only they shall not come near the vessels of the sanctuary and the altar. Remember the story, and we're coming up to that story. We're not there yet. King Saul went into the temple. when it was Samuel's responsibility and his sons. And King Saul decided that he was going to go into the sanctuary. He crossed the line. What is that line between the king and the priest? What is that line? We're unfamiliar with that line today. What is that line? That line is being discussed today in the year 2024, where you have the government and their system of operating, and God and his system of operating crossing. When the government system of operating is one system, and God and his system of operating is supposed to be preeminent or an advisor to the king. But we have decided to put kings on pedestals here today. We call them presidents and prime ministers. And then we, the people, don't stand behind our king, the person that we believe in, which is a personal personal morality or a moral duty. It is a moral, individualist duty. It is not a government duty. So in other words, we think we can take our priestly duty, and I'll say we loosely because I don't believe it, but we think we can take the priestly duties today and combine them with the king duties and make one government. There is no such thing. There's the world system, and then there's the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God does not need to mix with the world system. But we have people who call themselves Christians today in the year 2024. This month is the month of April. We have people who call themselves, or who think themselves today that they can take the kingdom of God system and mix it with the world system. And then we think that an immoral king who claims Christianity while speaking opposite the words of the king himself. So he can be Christian while speaking opposite our king, who speaks towards our health, but he thinks he can speak towards our death and represent the king. The Hebrew God. But he can speak against the Hebrews. Wow. You get what I'm saying? The support group looks a particular way. The support group is rooted in those of your belief system. There are adopted members into your belief system. They come from different backgrounds. Numbers 18. But if you're following along, you'll see it. You'll see the trend. They stand with you. They're not looking to thrash anyone. They're too busy unifying themselves. They look to the history of the line of their fathers. They support those who are in charge. In this case, Aaron and his sons. They're there to minister to them, provide resources. It ain't all about them. It's not an individualist thing. It's a together thing. It ain't they money, their cows, their horse. You know, it's shared resources. It's divided responsibilities, support systems. In other words, I do this part, you do that part. And we're on a similar or same journey to get to the same place together. It's interesting. These things sound so foreign to people together because everyone's trying to get to their own place. It's not God's way. You know, this whole idea of competition. We just talked about that previously, the whole competition. That was decided with the budding of the rod. Everybody else just needs to fall in line. CashApp $MrPaulDozier. CashApp $MrPaulDozier. Dozier. If this is a blessing to you, then please like and share it on whatever platform you're listening or watching this. We're on a journey from Genesis to Revelation. I do not know how long it's going to take to get there. We're moving slowly. We're going to be picking up the pace here pretty soon, though. In fact, I'm pretty sure once we get into Deuteronomy, because Deuteronomy is a culmination of all these things that we're learning. We're just learning the basics right now. That's why we're taking our time. But the basics will be over in, I believe right around the end of Numbers. So we'll pick up the pace a lot during Deuteronomy. Thank you for taking the journey with us, and God bless you.